Can you hear me okay? Do you want to go in there and sit with him? He's like, yeah.
It is 9 a.m. Tuesday, May the 19th, 2020. Welcome everyone to a call meeting, Montague County Commissioners Court. We have one item on the agenda for discussion this morning. Discuss, consider appointment of FEMA project manager position and take necessary action. When I put this out and to comply with open meetings so that we could talk about this, I didn't have much information. Got a little bit more now as I've been able to talk to Colleen with TDM. I wanted to know if y'all going to continue this position. That's the purpose of this. Now, as you know, WR has submitted his resignation. And when he did that, we posted it in-house. That expired yesterday. So now we didn't get any applications at all in-house, which I didn't expect there to be for a temporary part-time piece. But it's posted again today, starting today. And we'll have to run it 5 more days. My problem was, did y'all want to keep doing this? And it's not a problem. At the time that this happened, we've discussed it many times in court that the extension that we need to keep moving with this hasn't been granted. And we still don't have that extension. And I was looking for direction from TDM and what we needed to do with this. And Friday, I talked to Colleen, and her recommendation is we keep moving with it just like we are. Now, she can't guarantee that we're going to get an extension either. And in her opinion, and the word she used was that the extensions have been frozen, not just for Montague, but for everybody. But that's not to say that at some point that becomes unfrozen and they don't grant us an extension. But in her opinion, as long as we keep things moving, the process, she's not as concerned. I don't share that concern. I have concern about it simply because we don't have answers, and I'm leery when we don't have answers because that just gives an open door for whatever. But I do agree with what her estimation with it is. Since we don't have that we fill this position as best we can and as qualified as we can and move forward so that we can keep activity moving. So with that, if anybody had any comment or whatever, and going back to the way we start with this, the applications come back to my office, we'll review that and look at it and see what we can come up with. What we don't have is time. WR's last day is next Friday. So that being said, if there's going to be any time at all for training and so forth, we need to move on it right away, which is, I say, next week from this Friday. So applications will run through next Tuesday, and then we'll just have to make an offer to somebody and get them moving forward and be able to come in this space. So it's going to have to be something that they can pick up on that kind of stuff. And there's a lot of moving pieces with it that we're just going to do the best we can do. But I do think it's important that we stay with this that we're doing right now. that we don't change any of that. Anything new is going to be hard work through. There's a new person I know that with Con Resnick, Grant Huntley, that has been helping us through some of this and picking up some of the slack. Some of this has been transferred. So we've got a brand new person with Con Resnick coming in there. And we still have Jody with Terrazas with TDM that's working with us, specifically with us. So we've got one familiar piece of it. Everything else is going to be new. So again, when I put this out there and had the agenda made up for it, I didn't have much direction on where to go with it. I wanted y'all's opinion about it. And I still do want that, but I'm giving you a little bit more information than what I had at the time that we had. So with that, anybody have anything they want to add to or take away from what we're doing? Does anybody disagree with continuing with the position itself at this time?
No, we've got to, I mean, we just got to continue on, just like we've been doing.
Okay.
Too much at stake, so.
Well, and you know, there's still money on the table for us, and we want to do the best we can do to get reimbursed to us. We got to spend it now to be able to get it back. And we don't want to spend it and not get it back. So I think we need to be moving forward the best way we can and the most efficient way we can, because that's the key to this whole thing is the efficiency of it. As y'all well know, the rules change pretty much on a daily basis, even with FEMA. When we accomplish what they give us, the rules change before we ever get into it. And we got to add more to it. And that's been part of the problem with the WR as well, is he hasn't been able to cover that part of it. So hopefully we'll be able to move forward and get something going so that y'all get reimbursements. But I want to reiterate too, you know, I wouldn't do a whole lot at one time. Send stuff in as fast as you can send it in for that purpose. And let's keep it moving. If we can keep the chain one thing, to be honest with you, right now. I'm talking about the training video, and he's working on his end to be able to do some of that. We'll just have to do the best we can do with it for that piece of it. But between the auditor, the treasurer, and WR for documentation, we ought to be able to get some training done with it and be able to move forward. We have to choose qualifications. We can do with it. And like I said, if you want me to bring somebody back for y'all to approve, I'm fine with that too. On the 26th, 26th.
I sure want to know who to get. I'm in this thing for the long haul. Everybody else.
Well, and I realize that. You in precinct 3, and I know Mike's still got.
I'm about done mine, so it's not gonna matter.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm done with mine, but regardless, we need to make sure this deal is finished 6 months or 2 years from now or whenever, because we don't want in 10 years FEMA to come back and say, listen, you didn't finish your program, you owe us $5 million. So
Yeah.
I don't want to jeopardize the county.
And part of this deal the salary is set by the budget. You know, we can't adjust that salary. We can adjust it when budget time comes around this next time. The salary is set. And we can discuss that with individuals through there. That's going to be a limiting factor as well. But there's a tremendous amount of liability with this position. When you sign off on these projects and send them, when that project manager signs off because their name goes on it as well, they're liable for the information that's given there. That's why it's such that's why WR has been so meticulous at having these things exactly right when they go in, so that when he posts it and sends those projects in as completed to him, his name is going on it, my name is going on it, and that's where the liability lies. That's why the salary is set the way it is for the hour, by the hour. It's because of that liability. And the auditor may be able to share some more with that. I know that she's had concerns about that in the past, not so much now, but in the past. But feel free to speak up to anybody that wants to about it, because I want us to be right about this thing. I don't want to just have somebody there that's just doing it because they want it. I want it to be right and have enough what we're trying to do with it to bring something to the table, not just looking for a job. Anything?
Well, you know, to me, it's not just a part-time position. This thing is, I guess you'd call it a temporary.
It is temporary. And that's another piece of it. You know, this thing could be over the 1st of June too. They may come and tell us it's over. So this person that takes his job has to know that as well. And that may be a deciding factor for them. If they've got 2 or 3 things working, they might just have something else going.
Even if they come up and said, all right, today is the last day for the money, we'd be lucky if we could wrap it up in 6 months, get everything turned in that we've already started. It'd take a while to do that.
And that may be for us, but it might not be for them.
Well, I understand they cut the money off, but we've got to go ahead and finish the paperwork out what we've got. We can't just stop our paperwork.
Right.
If they stop their money, we can't just stop paperwork and we've got to finish out the paperwork. I just don't want something to come back years down and get us here.
Exactly. And I think we've done a very, very good job. And even, you know, I think the last 2 meetings that we've had with TDM, they commented on the process that we put into place and how that's working and how well it's working for them. Tom Resnick has chimed in with that as well. So I want to keep the process going. I think it's proven itself to be effective. It's proven itself to be what they want to see and how we do this. So just tell me what you want. I want to do what y'all want to do.
So what do you foresee the next steps, Joe? You're going to take or the county's going to take applications?
Yeah, for the next 5 days, we've had to do it 5 days in-house. We didn't get a single inquiry about it.
And assuming someone or multiple people make application, then what are the steps?
Then I'll go through the applications and take the best candidates that we can get and visit with them and make a choice. Or bring it to the court and make a choice. What I'll do is bring a recommendation to the court to approve. Make a job offer if that's what they want to do, or I'll make a job offer to them and we'll do it.
Why
That's
can't we do it
what we
like
got
we
set
did
up.
before?
What's that?
Why can't we just do it like we did before?
This is how we did it. This is how WR is back in there, just exactly like this.
But the time before that,
How was it then?
we took applications, screened them, then Mark, Bob Stein, Michael Stein, those.
Okay,
We
so
had
do
most
a
of-
panel, do a committee to do it. We don't have time.
We knew we don't have time.
We don't have time to get that done in the process and have time for WR to train somebody.
You got 5 days, you're gonna do it, have me and Mark come in like we did last time, screen it, takes 1 hour. You ain't got time for that.
In coordinating all of it.
If you just wanna pick, I mean, that's up to
Well, that's the
you.
way it's been set up. I'm not,
Well,
I'm not
yeah,
advocating.
it's
I'm
set
just
up
saying.
that way, but we've done it 3 different ways.
I agree.
So,
I've
There's
always
no
tried to go
standard to
along
it.
and get along with what you just tell me what you want. I'm not trying to do anything but get this
well, I'm
finished so
the
we can get
one that's got
somebody in.
more dollars in this hunt than anybody, 'cause I don't want somebody up here that I can't work with or ain't gonna be in here pulling for this deal. And is gonna be haphazard about it or show up when they want to or whatever. I gotta have somebody I trust it. I got too much at stake.
Well, personally, I have total confidence in his decision because he knows what we do. He's seen what we do. I have a big dog in this hunt too, Roy, a lot. And I have $500,000 sitting on my desk in there, right?
Got me too.
I mean, so, and then I've got, another $1.5 million after that. I know you've got a little bit more, but I just trust his decision on what we're gonna do. And I mean, I don't mind coming in and interviewing or whatever we gotta do. I'll do whatever. But we need to move forward and we don't need to be balling up with. I mean, if we don't wanna do that, then the court can decide that.
They'll just tell me. I mean, I put this on the agenda to come in here to discuss it. I'm not trying to ramrod or push anything. I do want to push getting this position filled. I think it's important to the county. I'm not in it for any one individual, any one commissioner, and I think that's why we set it up to where this office does it, is because it works for this office and doesn't work for any one commissioner because they have to participate with all four. And that's the reason it's set up that way to begin with.
Well, that's the way it needs to be. We don't need any influence over the person. They're doing the work that we're giving them, but we can't run them off or anything like
It
that.
has to go through this office. And that's the way it was set up initially.
That's right, exactly what you said, exactly right. We have nothing over, we can't do nothing, it's up to him. If we're having problems over here, for him to straighten it out, right?
Well, Roy, the thing about it, there's been 3 Courtney, Toby Howard, and what's been wrong with those picks there? They've all worked out pretty good for us. I don't think he's gonna fall off the deep end and pick somebody that's not intending on doing the job. They've been 3 there in the past done a good job.
I ain't saying anybody hadn't done a good job. I don't know once I try this plan fell through, I just want to have a little bit of say in what it's over here. That's just like, I don't want the judge hiring my road hands either, but I'm responsible for what I got in my precinct.
Exactly. And I think that bringing that to this person is what we're trying to accomplish with that. And keeping that bias out of it, if that's what you want to call it. Another piece is we've got an HR department now that we didn't have before. And I think with guidance from them, following the rules that we have in play, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to keep it just exactly the way it has to be done. And HR has given us direction on that. It's certainly given me direction on it. And I hope everybody is following that direction from them with what you do in your own precincts. Because and that changes frequently as well. It certainly has changed from the policies that we have in place, and they're working right now to update those and bring them to us, which is kind of off point. But again, all I want is direction. I'll do what you want to do. I just want the direction that you need me to go in. I'll bring a recommendation to the court on the 26th, if that's what you want, or I'll make a job offer and.
If you wait till the 26th, that's, what is the day?
Days the 19th.
19th. Before, that's about, you can't do that before then anyway.
No, that's what I'm saying. The 26th is the first day we could do it, and I can bring a recommendation to the court for that. And y'all can vote on it.
We need to do it that day so we can get some training.
Otherwise, you're starting your committee on the 26th because you won't have met your timeline.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. We don't have time to do that.
So if y'all want to form your committee and start interviewing people on the 26th, I suppose you could do that. Otherwise, the judge needs to make a recommendation.
And I'll be vetting that as we get them, the process. But again, I'm just trying to make this work. If y'all want the latitude to do that, I will absolutely bring you a recommendation to court on the 22nd. Excuse me, the 26th. Or keep it straight on those days.
You bring it 22nd, should be by yourself.
But otherwise, there's no action to take on it.
Well, I stated my opinion of, I'm happy with your decision. If Roy wants to do interviews, then y'all can do
We don't
interviews.
have time.
I don't see that we do.
I
And
want
get
it
any
done.
training. We can make it out as long as we want. But to have any time for them to spend with the existing project manager, it's gonna have to be done in ASAP. Within the guidelines that we have in our policy anyway. We've got to maintain the guidelines within the policy. That's what we don't have a choice of. That's why I put this on there, is because I wanted to know what direction I wanted to go in, because there, we discussed in some of the meetings that we've had, where we would be if we didn't get the extension. And I know that y'all have spoken with the project manager individually, because he shared that with me. I haven't talked to any of y'all about it, but he shared with me his concerns about it being over at the end of this month, because that's when this extension would have expired.
One thing concerns me is whoever we get has to be somebody that's committed to this because it's so important. It's gotta be somebody that ain't gonna jump up taking vacations and doing this and doing that. And I gotta go do this, I gotta do that, I'm gonna work this, and I'm gonna run your office, you ain't gonna run me. I don't like that kind of stuff. We gotta have
I don't know
somebody
if
that's
there's a
gonna
problem
take
with that. I mean, that's never been a problem in the past.
Oh, I've had a problem in the past, right? Yes, I have.
Well, Judge, I'm
Not-
gonna let you
not
intend to
fully.
hire somebody like that. I don't know.
You can't control what people do. I mean, that's certainly going to be within the process of picking somebody to exclude that type of activity. But life happens to everybody as well. I mean, I can't say whether there be emergencies or whatever for somebody to come in.
I
But
ain't
you got to
talking about-
remember this too. This is a part-time position. They're not going to be here all the time. They'll be here part-time. We've always had set
They're gonna be
hours.
set days on that.
Excuse me?
They're gonna be set days.
I'm going to try to work with the applicants.
Like that yard was here on Monday and Tuesday.
He always set his schedules out and sent schedules out to
Right.
y'all days and times. And I think that's reasonable to ask to do that.
Well, he was here Mondays and Tuesdays, started with his treatments, he changed his whatever to me.
Well, for whatever he had, I don't know the reasons he had and why he was here and wasn't. But
That's
he
what I'm
always
saying,
gave
is
us.
I want some kind of, where I know I can get a hold of you.
I don't disagree with that at all. I don't. But we'll have to work with what we can work with in order to get it done. Again, within part-time position, I'm not going to set hours on it. I'm not going to set days on it until we get in and know who's going to be there, and we can work together to get that done. As long as we know, as long as you know when they're going to be there and the hours are going to be there, you can get the material to them to do it. And the communication line can stay open with it. But again, it's back to part-time, and it's temporary part-time on top of that. But we know it's not going to last forever. It's a temporary position. It's going to be as long as we can get the extensions or we use up all the money. It's that simple.
Well, I got about 400,000 sitting there right now.
I understand
I'm
that.
still piling up in my office too.
All the more reason to get moving. Anything else? Okay, just so I understand, I can make a job offer on the 26th. Do you want me to bring it to you to vote on?
Do we need to vote on it?
It's up to you. I'm asking you. You tell me what you want. I'll bring you the recommendation.
Because, I mean, once again, if we value your recommendation, then we're gonna trust
Yeah, I'm
that.
good with that.
If we don't take it, then we're past,
Back to square.
we're back to square one, so.
Okay.
I value, like I say, I just think, bring us somebody that you think can do it, and we'll do it, and let's go on. Let's do it.
That's what we're gonna do anyway, so let's just do it.
We got action. We can take action on this. Let's just do it so everybody's clear on the thing. Look, if somebody give me a motion to give me the authority to do this on the 26th, and then I will do it, and we'll just vote on that. If it doesn't, then we'll put a committee together.
I'll make a motion to allow Judge Lewis to bring us a recommendation Monday or Tuesday, the 26th at the court meeting, and we can take action then.
Second.
Any more discussion about that? All in favor, right hand, all voted for. And I will bring you a recommendation on the 26th, and you can vote on that individual. That's what the motion, the second was. And motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Second, Commissioner. All in favor, right hand. We are adjourned. Thank you.